Call of Duty in 2026 doesn't have the best reputation. The rampant cheating problem and franchise fatigue at an all-time high, it's easy to fall into the nostalgia of games prior. Not only did these games have great multiplayer, but they had some of the most iconic single-player campaigns in gaming history. Some even went on to predict future conflicts in our own day-to-day lives. Today, we'll be exploring 3 times Call of Duty campaigns predicted the future. Call of Duty 4 is a game credited with starting the golden age of Call of Duty, following a multilateral story with a perspective in the Tier 1 British SAS unit and another perspective in the US Marines First Force Recon. We are tasked with tracking down 3 of the 4 horsemen of the original Modern Warfare trilogy, Imran Zakhaev, his son Victor, and Khaled al-Assad. But I want to specifically focus on the second mission of the campaign. We are shunted into the eyes of President al-Falani, a leader of one of the countries al-Assad has occupied. After a long, intense car ride with Victor, we are pulled out and dragged in front of a crowd. Our arms are tied behind our back, and we can see al-Assad and Zakhaev setting up a camera. Being handed a pistol, al-Assad speaks into the camera, walks over to al-Falani, publicly executes him. This triggers US Marines to invade and attempt to capture al-Assad to bring back order to the region. But this mission eerily follows similar events in our own reality, known as the Arab Spring. Beginning in Tunisia in December of 2010, a street vendor named Mohamed Bouazizi set himself on fire after local police confiscated his cart after harassing him. This single act sparks large protests over governments in the region not running their countries effectively. High unemployment, police abuse, rising grocery costs, and overall authoritarian corruption led the populace to revolt. And in January of 2011, Tunisian President Zine El Abidine Ben Ali fled the country and went into exile. This sparked similar revolts in Egypt and Libya, but did not share the same outcome as Tunisia. But the Syrian revolts of 2011 are what I want to focus on, as this is what the original Modern Warfare predicted, even down to the year the mission takes place in Charlie Don't Surf. Bashar al-Assad was the acting president of Syria during the protest. He did not want to listen to the people. His government cracked down on the protests, and eventually the protesters began fighting back. This would spark the Syrian civil war. This led the United States to send troops back into Iraq in 2014 to retake the city of Mosul that had been under occupation of ISIS, as well as the deployment of special operation forces in Syria, leading to the capture of the city of Raqqa in 2017. The Syrian deployment eerily mirrors the Marine deployment in Call of Duty 4, all the way down to both al-Assads being prominent figures in the conflict. And Infinity Ward unknowingly predicted this in 2007, 3 years before these conflicts would kick off. In 2012, Treyarch released Call of Duty Black Ops 2, capped off the golden age of COD with a bang. An unforgettable multiplayer, a memorable campaign set in 2025 with multiple different endings depending on the choices you made, and an iconic selection of zombies maps that people still think about to this day. This title holds more weight than ever, as not only are we living a year past when the game is taking place, 2026, but Treyarch predicted who the US would find itself competing with for global influence, China. But why is this important? If you played Black Ops 2 in the campaign, it just sounds like I'm pointing out the obvious, but we need to go back 14 years and look at the geopolitical landscape at the time. In 2012, Russia was still the biggest potential enemy the United States had on the global stage. This was reinforced in 2014 with Russia illegally seizing the Ukrainian peninsula of Crimea after the Ukrainian president Viktor Yanukovych, a well-known pro-Russia advocate, fled Kiev after losing the support of the Ukrainian people. Seeing this as a Western-backed coup, Russia deployed unmarked soldiers to seize airports, military bases, and government buildings. By March of 2014, Russia had complete control, and the Crimean government announced a referendum to rejoin Russia, that passed with a 97% vote to rejoin. This was obviously questioned heavily, with the vote happening under military control, but the UN was unable to do anything about it. Fast forward to February of 2022, and Russia invades Ukraine in what they called a special military assault. An operation that was meant to last only a few days has now led to a 4-year war with no end in sight. Russia specifically has been hit the hardest. At the time of recording, it's estimated that they've sustained 1 to 1.2 million casualties. This includes dead, wounded, or missing in action. The Russian military has also taken a significant hit in terms of its helicopter, plane, and tank fleets, as most of the war is now fought with suicidal troop charges, calculated drone warfare. Their military capability and their force projection has been severely hampered, with US Senator Mitt Romney commenting that the 5% of the US military budget being used to aid Ukraine is about the best national defense spending we've ever done. But how does this involve China? Well, as of 2026, they are the only near-peer superpower that can rival the US militarily. China has also been making allies throughout the Middle East, Africa, and even South America through its Belt and Road Initiative, a program that focuses on building alliances through Chinese investment in infrastructure and technology. This also pairs with the fact that the military has been modernizing at a rapid rate, with new aircraft carriers, hypersonic missiles, and new anti-satellite weaponry to boot. Now, the canon ending of Black Ops 2 is the US and China teaming up against Raul Menendez's plan to start a war between the two superpowers. That tense undertone and small skirmishes between forces echoes a very scary, very real reality that US forces are training to one day be fighting against Chinese troops, and vice versa. But the final game on this list has the potential to actually come to fruition and devastate our way of life in ways we can't fully imagine yet. Call of Duty Ghosts is a polarizing game in the franchise. It ended the golden age but also kicked off the Xbox One and PS4 generation of Call of Duty games. It was the last traditional boots on the ground game before 2014's Advanced Warfare launched us into the jetpack era of COD. But we'll be focusing on the events prior to Ghosts campaign, looking like we're falling into the timeline of this game with everything going on. The Tel-Aviv War is something that is hinted at in the opening cutscene of the campaign, recalling our player character's father defending a hospital under siege. What is not explained is how this war started, and it started when the capital of Israel was hit by a nuclear weapon. Now, it is unclear who launched the weapon, but Israel's response was to launch nuclear weapons at nearby Middle Eastern countries, causing a large nuclear exchange in the region. The oil infrastructure the world economy depended on is utterly destroyed, leading to a global depression that hasn't been seen since the Great Depression in the 1930s. The US loses all political influence. The new emerging nation out of South America forms from all of its individual countries forming under one unified flag, the Federation. But the events prior to that are what I really want to focus on, as we are currently on our way to our own Tel Aviv war, as the United States and Israel are currently at war with Iran. It's not looking so good for Israel. US bases have been decimated in the region. Israeli cities are currently being hit as the Iranian strikes are overwhelming the Iron Dome's defenses. While the rumors of US ground troops being deployed have been shut down, the rumors of the US striking Iran were also similarly shut down prior to the strikes occurring. We're already also seeing the global economy suffer as a result of this war, as Iran has shut off the Strait of Hormuz for anyone besides its allies, leading to the price of oil going up and leading to the price of everything else also going up. And I want to bring attention to the fact that Israel has something called the Samson Protocol, which summed up is a plan to nuke everyone if it seems like Israel is going to fall, whenever they feel like their country is under severe threat. Which as of right now, seems like Israel feels very under threat. They could hit that big red button at any minute if the US can't win this war for them. And while the prospect of the Odin satellite weapon system is a scary thought, the idea that we could see the Middle East nuked because of Israel's actions is a very scary and potential reality. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is a different type of video than what we usually do here on the channel, but I wanted to switch things up, and a lot of friends recommended that since I know so much about Call of Duty lore and the campaigns that I go ahead and share that with you guys, and hopefully I delivered. So thank you guys so much if you've gotten this far. I appreciate you guys watching, and if we get enough likes and enough good feedback, I will expedite another video. But until then, hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day or night or whenever you're watching this, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Later.